I guess I'm live, and hopefully I didn't miss anything, so I'm assuming all the descriptions and whatnot are all okay then. Yeah, game seems fine, descriptions are also okay. Great. Alright, make some levels. Beep beep lettuce. I also need to get a kind of an idea of I completely forgot to open up Restream, and I kind of need Restream, or I'm screwed. Where is it? Come on. Yep. Okay, so let me go ahead and close you out. Where's the chat? Go ahead and turn down the audio a little bit. There we go. So this is going to be a relatively small stream. It's just going to be me making some more levels, or at least in this case continuing to make a level. So, welcome to the stream for anyone that's joined, because I can't currently see the view counter right now, so... Oh, there we go. Let me go ahead and move that over to here somewhere so I can... Okay. There we go. Lovely. That's YouTube Gaming. Yep. There we go. Now I've got a kind of a clear idea of what's happening. Done. Let me just make sure everything's all good. Yeah. Okay, well I picked a bit of a late time to do this because of, you know, it's almost 2 in the morning and I'm going to probably be extra dead today. But hey, it's fine. I was telling myself I'm not gonna stream today. I'm not gonna stream today, and what do I end up doing? I end up doing it anyway because, well, let's be honest, who has anything better to do at like 2 AM? You know, I could be sleeping. You know, that's also a possibility, but you need sleep when you have streams to do. Either way, the real reason I'm doing this is because Beta Rush needs to be finished. I need to finish this at some point, or I'm going to have a terrible time. So, I want to make sure that everything's all cool and good, and whatnot. I guess I don't really need my dashboard anymore. Actually, I could probably share it through. Probably share it through here, actually. Let's stream info, optional features. Yeah, I don't need that. Also, don't need to enable monetization because I don't really. Well, I don't really monetize my videos. God, where am I? What is happening right now? I guess I'll just go ahead and... I guess I might as well just give everyone a small overview of what I've been doing off camera and whatnot. So, here you go, there's a nice little view. Let's go ahead and enter play mode as well, because obviously play mode's the real deal. This is how you really know what's going on. And just like that, we've got... We haven't exactly done much. Oh, I'm looking at the stream and it seems horribly laggy, but then again, that's probably me. Or at least I'm hoping that's... Hang on. What is doing? What is happening? Okay, hang on. Is this thing capturing properly? I mean, at least I think it's capturing properly. You know, it usually does. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. If you guys are experiencing choppy frame rates, just make sure to let me know, because obviously I can't exactly tell. Let me go ahead and also make sure that I can see... Ah, here we go. Beta Rush. Do not play the sound, thanks. Oof. god, that was close. Okay, sweet. I guess I might as well go ahead and update this via Twitter and whatnot. Apparently there are 2 people watching now, but of course I don't know that, because well, according to Restream, that's not the case. Go ahead and oh god, no. Oh no. Can I please have it? Yes. Okay, and of course I'm going to need to minimize a bit, or well, not minimize, but there we go. And just like that, that should all be good. Okay. Okay, yeah. That should, in theory, be good. Either way. Like I said previously, here's what the level is like. I've added a few fans and whatnot. Of course, compared to what the stage was like, it was a lot larger, but in a sense it was just way... It was maybe a bit too large, I guess, and too empty. Because there was nothing that the player could do here, nothing cool the player could look at. They don't really had like one infected section, which still looked horrible. Like, might I add. It wasn't great. So we're gonna fix that today, and hopefully get a good chunk of this level done. So let's go ahead and I guess we might as well place a virus teleporter here so we can teleport people to some kind of like harder stage of a level. For those of you who are not familiar with this game, Distance and Nitronic Rush are like... they're kind of sisters to each other, but one was a free student project that you can actually still download today. And the other was... or is right now, well, what I'm currently playing. It's a fully fledged Steam game. It's still in early access, by the way, may I add. But for the price of like $20, or in the UK terms it's like £15, maybe 15, 17, I can't actually remember. But somewhere along the lines of just under £20 basically. $20 or under £20. It's a pretty good game for what you get. Plus the level editor is like literally one of the best things about this game, because once you whiz through the story mode and that becomes a little bit boring, you can play a bunch of community levels. Like, for example, I'm just gonna go ahead and say Plasma Warriors levels. They make some great levels. Like, if you've seen them from previous streams, you'll know that they are some great people who make some really great levels. I have no idea what I just said, but long story short, Plasma knows how to make proper levels. Compared to me, I don't know. I guess I'm okay. I'm not exactly the best when it comes to the level editor, but obviously I know my way around, and I typically like to make Nitronic Rush based levels, and maybe even some horror based levels, because let's be honest, who doesn't like a bit of horror? I just realized that one of my tracks are on constant loop, so let me go ahead and fix that really quick. Go ahead and shuffle tracks. There we go. And now that'll continue playing pretty much the whole Nitronic Rush soundtrack. I may potentially add some more soundtracks later on down the line, like maybe the 140 soundtrack or the Redout soundtrack, but I'm not too sure yet, because I don't want, you know, good old-fashioned YouTube to beat me completely because I was using some copyrighted music that, you know. Because let's be honest, I don't exactly know which songs are copyrighted and which ones you can use without getting completely decimated by the artist or YouTube's copyright policy. Of course, I know if I'm ever gonna try to monetize anything, I'm gonna need to fix that. I'm gonna have to deal with it, unfortunately, and that's just YouTube. Let me move this track down a little bit so that it's underneath this track. That way I can be sure that nobody crashes into it or anything. Okay, let's go ahead and fly across. Now basically, this is supposed to be like a hidden track. Like a track that the player can go ahead and find. Obviously, this isn't final. I want to go ahead and try and see what kind of secrets I can squeeze into this level, because obviously, if there's anything that we know about the distance community, it's that speedrunners love skipping. It's not even just speedrunners, it's just your stereotypical distance player will usually want to try and get the best time, and in order to do that, you're going to want to skip parts of the track. I mean, sure, players will play through it once or twice, and maybe even open it in the level editor themselves to take a look at what's actually happened, like what's going on behind the scenes, and then they'll figure out the best track to race or to hop on and hopefully get the best time. There could even be some unintentional skips that we can create, which will make the level even better for most speedrunners, because let's be honest, speedrunners love their skips. And remember, you have to love the speedrunner, okay? Don't go saying that skipping is cheating in this game. Players will probably laugh at you quite a bit, because, you know, your car isn't given wings and thrusters to be able, and also the ability to ride on walls for no reason. Of course, you could say you could use it for a bunch of visual-based shenanigans, but even devs themselves have openly admitted that you can try and actually, like, they want you to get off the track and actually explore the level a little bit. And you know what? That's what I like about this game, is that you don't necessarily need to stick to the track. Either way. So, this section of the level probably isn't going to be too great. I mean, let's be honest. It's quite short at the moment. There isn't much to do here, so let's go ahead and fix that up. Oh. You may experience some minor freezes in the music. That's just the thing with distance. Yeah. Also, a bit later I might actually go ahead and add... I'll be adding all of the Nitronic Rush soundtrack to the description, so that you are actually able to buy it. Not buy it, because it's not for sale, but you'll be able to download it all. Because obviously devs, they want to make it free. Kind of like the game itself. Not this one. This is a paid game. But Nitronic Rush, if you would like to, it is a free game. If you kind of want to get an idea of what I'm talking about, then I'd suggest watching some of my Nitronic Rush videos, because that basically outlines what Nitronic Rush is. As for this is... It's basically the thing that comes after, but then you have to pay for it, and it just has more features and it looks a bit cooler. But then again, I like the look of both games. I'll probably add the data traffic or whatever it is to these roads later, like I did in previous sections of this level. And if we look at this, you'll notice as my frame rate basically takes a huge dip, essentially. Now, if we look at this, you know, it may look like a pretty nice little level that I've made here. Obviously, it looks quite original, looks like nothing that's ever surfaced on a workshop before. Although, anyone who's actually been around the Distance Workshop and actually played the levels, or, you know, quite a while ago, will actually know that this level is actually kind of a remake of a previous level that I did. Also, named Beta Rush. The reason I named Beta Rush is because this thing was in a... well, first of all, it's made in Distance Beta. Second of all, it's inspired by Nitronic Rush. And another reason it's called Beta Rush is because it was made in an experimental build. which is what I like to call the beta version of a beta game, aka the test version and whatnot. I don't really know why I stuck with Beta Rush. I could have called it Alpha Rush or whatever, but you know, I'm not that good with names, as most people will probably be able to tell. So, and just like that, this is essentially the first stage of a level. Nice and blue, it's got quite a lot of stuff happen at any given time. You've got nice little hover cars flying at pretty much every given, in just any given place really. And you've even got some that will hover over the tracks to give you a cooldown, others will try to absolutely obliterate you, and some will just, well, they're just there for just a bit of a laugh really. Other than that, this part of the track will still be worked on, even afterwards. Even after I finish like the fair majority of the track, I'll probably get back to that blue stage. And this is the purple stage, or the stage I decided to redesign. The hot pink stage will also be redesigned, so... And of course the virus stages also need to be redesigned, because literally everything in this... I mean, whilst it looks a lot better than the previous level did, I'll be honest, it's not as fun to play. Even though previously, in previous iterations of Beta Rush, it still wasn't too fun. And that's what I'm trying to fix here. Because Beta Rush was, it was horrible. Like, to give you a bit of an idea, let's go over to the workshop levels and pick up the original Beta Rush right here, made by me. Notice that not all the green levels here, that you see here, are made by me, so that's just a small bit of advice there. As you can see it's a lot brighter. There's still a fair bit going on. Of course, it looks kind of horrible though. Also, this is what I like to call the non-laggy version of Beta Rush, because if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, the final version will probably lag quite a lot, especially if your computer is a potato. Also, you'll notice that this one actually has a heat meter, whereas the one that I'm currently working has pretty much, it has infinite cooldown. So, although I did that just so that I don't overheat randomly, I'll be adding all the appropriate checkpoints and cooldown points a bit later. As you can see, it's okay for what it was back at the time. In fact, the devs even streamed it, so most people will actually see. Well, actually, you know, you can't exactly find this past live stream anymore, but it definitely was streamed by the devs, and which was actually kind of a surprise. Of course, once I actually realized that the devs actually do play through the community levels, and not just, you know, make the game and play through the adventure mode, this is the thing that really pumped me to make more. Except now that I look back at it, these levels are quite flippin' awful. Which, you know, it's 2017 now, I've had this game for just over a year, and, you know, I've loved every single moment of it. In fact, sooner or later, I'll be passing the 100, actually no, not 100 hour mark, the 1000 hour mark on Steam, so that'll be quite nice. And right here we see the old infected zone. Of course the new one looks a heck of a lot better than this, and it plays a heck of a lot better. Although it still needs a lot of work before I can actually release this and feel even remotely proud of it. Well, some people will say, hey, you know, this is okay for what it is. I'd say, you know what, no, we're gonna go the extra mile and we're gonna make it better. Because obviously, you know, whilst I could just make it kind of good, you know, that's not what I want my levels to be. I want them to be close to the best, if not the best. So, as you can see, I've basically went ahead and just reworked the entire color scheme and whatnot. And just like that, we've got... Well, actually, I suppose I should probably start from the beginning and whatnot. And yes, the level tends to freeze a little bit, because, like I said, this thing is massive compared to the old one. has a lot more areas, has a lot more stuff going on in it. It actually kind of feels like you're racing around some neon-esque city. And you know what? I think that's why I like Nitronic Rush. Is because you're kind of not stuck to the track. You can fly off the track in order to find some secrets. In fact, this was my original goal when I first started making levels. I wanted to add just a bunch of secrets that players could find. You know, just maybe make someone's day a little bit better. Once they found some kind of hilarious little Easter egg that I threw in. Of course, I haven't been doing that with most of my levels nowadays, but hey. And in previous iterations of my levels, I've also been using assets that were previously not mine. Because back then, I didn't know what grouping was. Obviously nowadays, pretty much everything that you see here is mine, aside from the dev assets. Those weren't created by any ordinary user, these were actually made by the developers themselves, and they were hidden away. Of course, if you're smart enough, or you just know where to find a certain something to inject into distance, you'll be able to have access to this dev folder, and maybe even a few, let's just say, interesting leaks from the game. Either way, as you can see here, some Nitronic crates that I previously made. And these were made using the new animator component, both the golden animator and just the standard animator component. Either way, here we've got some tracks that you can obviously jump across to get to the next stage. You can see some lasers in the distance. Yes, I know, terrible joke, kill me. But still, as you can see, it's more or less what you would come to expect from Nitronic Rush. Of course, to add to the Nitronic Rush feel, I've went ahead and added the soundtrack for the stream, because obviously I know that you can pretty much use it without YouTube deciding to go ahead and run a mass murdering spree on your videos, so yeah. Thanks, Torch. Either way, let's go ahead and just... This is where where the old track used to be. Of course, I've removed it now, and in favor of some more twisty, turny tracks, but you can still find some parts of the old track here. For example, the start. That's a perfect example. Either way, enough chit-chat, and I really should just sit down and continue adding some good stuff here. Now originally I was planning to add a track here, but I don't know if I should, and if I just want to go ahead and make a new one here. Now I reckon what I'll do with this track is, or at least this part of the track, is I'll go ahead and add an ending to this, or an end cap, as we'd like to call it. Oh, that's the start menu. Oh wait, never mind, it's just Windows still. Okay. Going on. I want to try and see if I can stay in touch with my chat and whatnot. So obviously, I need to do that. I'm streaming. It's a must. It's pretty much just a must-have. So let's go to this. Make sure. Also, I'm still quite surprised I even managed to hit over 50 subs. Which, of course, I have you, the viewer, to thank for that. Because obviously, I wouldn't have even had... When I first made this YouTube channel, I never thought I'd be here. So, yeah, I know, it might seem stupid to some people, like 50 subscribers, come on, that's nothing. But to me, that's actually quite a fair bit. So, like always, thank you for subscribing and whatnot, so I'll make sure to continue doing these Starbound, Terraria, Fallout, and just basically whatever game I can get my hands on. So, yeah. Hopefully you can stick around for even more games. and hopefully you can find a game that you actually might want to consider buying and trying for yourself. Because believe me, I've played some pretty great games in the past, and that's why I'm trying to stream and add some content to my channel, because I kind of want to give the names of the games that I'm playing to other people who have probably never even seen or heard of such a game. Either way. Let's go ahead and go in another teleporter. We'll just keep this guy right here. And yeah, there we go. Actually, you know what, no. We could add some jumps and whatnot. Yeah, let's do that. Because I reckon if we just go ahead and add an end cap, it doesn't make the track as interesting. Go into my custom objects folder. Now, most of these assets are mine. Of course, some aren't, because, well, not even that I copy them anymore, it's just because somebody gave them to me to use. Because I was too lazy to make my own back in the past, so either way, times have changed. Yeah, let's go ahead. Add a nice... another nice track here. For the player to be able to actually race on, because obviously, you're gonna want to do that. I want to try and line it up. Of course, I know Plasma Wario did mention that you can actually use the snap tool to kind of give a track a sort of, not even a track, just any object that you're trying to maybe turn or move around. You can make it sort of like snap to a grid rather than have it to try and turn it to your liking. So either way, go ahead and add a little end cap just to remove any sort of like see-through parts of this track, because I know that some parts will be see-through either way, unless you fully like attach them together. And right there. Of course, I'm gonna want to make sure that the player can actually still jump on this. Yep. And just like that, we've got another jump add to the collection. Of course, now we can test it. And also play through the level again. You know, I was originally planning on exiting the play mode and just throwing my car over to that, but I kind of want to play through it just to get an idea of what I'm actually building here, because obviously, like with most things, I kind of tend to forget after not touching something for a while, as I'm sure most people would too. I might just try and remove most of the obstacles from this section just to give it sort of like a more friendly, sort of safe feeling. Make the player feel a little bit more safer in this part. And then make the level a little bit more cruel to the player as they progress through it. I reckon that would be a really sort of like a story mode-esque feel to this level. Which, now that I think about, I was originally planning on just making like a fully fledged sort of like story mode, just so the players could play through another story whilst waiting for Adventure 2.0 to come out. Which, mind you, if you've never seen Adventure 2.0, there's some pretty nice little spoilers on YouTube that you can find, and it looks stunning. It looks great. So, I don't exactly know when it's coming out, because, like, you know, like with most things, it's coming when it's ready, as the devs would say. And I completely obliterated myself there, but yeah, the adventure mode, they're not exactly rushing themselves to finish it, which is what I kind of actually like when the dev does it, because at the end of the day, you know that whatever is going to come out will actually be good. It won't just be something that somebody slapped together in like 2 seconds. So, that's good on the devs. Really good stuff. There we go, got a little, I should probably try and make that jump a little bit more, come a little bit more of a later time, because obviously the player will probably turn around and instantly get obliterated by that little blocker. So let's do that, and let's move it across this road. Make sure to add it in and whatnot. There we go. Now, in this case, we've got a couple options here. We can either put down some decorations, we can add some more obstacles to maybe make this part of the track a little bit more harder, and you know what? Let's do that. Let's do just that, because I feel like this level kind of lacks unique obstacles and whatnot. Or in this case, just any form of obstacles, really. It just has that sort of like constant pattern, which, you know, at first it may seem all cool and good, and then as soon as you sort of play through it, it becomes a bit boring. Which is what I'm gonna try and combat here, because obviously we don't want boring levels. That's not something that anyone will play through. I can jokingly say unless you're a Realms player, because trust me, if you've seen the first few handful of Realms tracks, they're just... players have to just sort of question why they're a thing. Or at least most players do. Other players kind of like Hot Wheels. I don't know. Me, I'm not exactly a Hot Wheels fan, so I can't exactly say anything. But if you are, then I don't judge. Either way. So let's add some swords in, for the sake of just having some kind of form of obstacles here to make the player want to dodge a little bit, make the player twist and sort of turn across the tracks a little bit, and just like that, it just makes it gives the level a little bit more, I guess, variety. Well, probably not even that, but it just makes the level a bit more fun to play through in general. And I just realized I'm about to start through, yep, this is the start of the track, we don't want that. Also, for anyone curious, the devs do actually tend to join these streams, so there could be a stream where you see, for example, Torched or maybe even Snowstate join. Of course, I haven't actually properly, like, fully shared the stream, like, everywhere, but for anyone kind of curious to see how active the devs are, they're pretty flippin' active most of the time. Except when they go quiet is when, you know, things are getting quite juicy, they're working on maybe some new features, or in most cases, they're working on the new adventure mode. And just like that, we've got another part of the track done. Kind of. Or a decent part of it that actually looks and kind of feels nice to play on. Either way. Of course, what's coming in the new adventure mode is looking pretty flippin' mind-blowing though. I don't want to spoil it, but for anyone wondering, there's a whole host of new stuff in general coming. And it looks great. There's a bunch of new visual effects, new parts of the game, old parts of the game that the devs have decided to come back to, which, again, I don't want to spoil, because, you know, spoilies. Okay, let's Control V that, and paste it right there. Yep. And just like that, we can add some lamps to the track, you know, just to give the player that nice little sense of speed that the game has going on. Literally, sometimes lamps can really make the scene a lot better. can make you feel like you're driving through a city rather than just some plain old track that, you know, nobody really tends to care about. Now in this case, I'm probably gonna not add lamps going up here because usually that's not how it works, but yeah. I'm probably gonna stream till 3 AM again. Actually no, you know what? I don't know. I could stream till 3 AM, but whether or not I will remains to be seen. Because, you know, like with most things, I kind of do want to sort of like, I don't know, difficult to explain. I do want to end up waking up today, basically. Because I still have to wake up to do stuff, take care of people. Yes, for those of you who are wondering, I have to basically still take care of a certain two people. Which, I don't know, in some cases can be quite frustrating, in other cases, not so much. But yeah, it has its fair share of ups and downs and whatnot, but I can't really say that it's an exciting job. Let's just say that. It's not that much of an exciting job. Other than that, which, I don't know, I might even try and do some midday streams, see how that works out, because obviously, you know, if I wake up quite early, you know, nobody's around, everyone's usually either school or work, which, mind you, nobody's at school at the moment, everyone's on summer holidays, in pretty much most parts of the world, so it's not every day that everyone's going to be at work, but most people still do go to work around here, and you know, it's going to be relatively quiet. The most biggest disturbance I can think of would be my dog in the background, and boy oh does my dog get loud. That's let's just say it's for some people it could be quite nice to hear my pet. For others it could be a bit more frustrating. Which I can't blame you if you get frustrated by it, because I know I do quite often. Either way, let's go ahead and play through it. Ooh. Now the lamps kind of give away that there's another track here, but I don't know, this track might not be so secret, because at the end of the day, keep in mind, there is another secret track that the player will need to, you know, accidentally either get thrown off the main track somehow, or just manage to spot it somehow. Or, in most cases, open it up in the level editor and actually spot the track. So, yeah. Oh, trick timed out. God, I hate when that happens. That's the most, like, it's kind of like when your OCD kicks in, except not really. There is no OCD in this case, it's just like, it's just sort of an unpleasant feeling, in my case. You gotta love infinite cooldown. I'm thinking of adding some more, actually, well, I mean, obviously I'm gonna be adding some more floating hover car things to this place. Also, Half-Life 3 posters. Obviously, you gotta stick with some memes. And it doesn't look like they're free design. But that's okay. Oh wait, no, it is there. It's just blurred out by the bloom. I want to believe. Even Torched, one of the main devs, can agree. Either way. I'm not gonna lie, I reckon what I'll do is, once it hits 3 AM, I'll probably end the stream, have some breakfast and just go to sleep. And then I'll probably resume doing this stream, or maybe another Starbound stream, or maybe, just maybe, a completely different stream later on today. Because as much as I'd love to stay up on a nightly basis, like, these streams come at sort of a cost, and it's I'm gonna be really really obnoxiously tired the next day. And that's not what I want. I want to make sure that I'm nice and well rested during the day, because yeah, like with most things, I'm gonna have a hard time doing another stream, whereas if I get enough rest, for example, I can stream as much times as I want, because I'm focused, and you know, streaming in this case just becomes a heck of a lot easier. So yeah, go ahead and add some sideless glass roads. No, we don't want them going down, because that's going to send the player to their demise. And we don't want to send the player to their demise, we want them to watch them, well, in most cases we want to watch them succeed and have a good time, but, you know, you could be evil and not do that. Of course, that's always an option. Go ahead and make the tracks glow a little bit, but I don't want to do that too much, in the sense that this may make the track look a little bit worse. Whew. Man, it's getting really hot in here, and I'm getting really hungry for some reason. I guess today's gonna be one of those days. Oh. Now, for those of you who are looking to buy this game, like, I totally recommend it. And if there's anything I recommend about this game, is that I recommend that you hop into the level editor. Believe me, it may look overwhelming at first, but trust me, like the devs say, you can get used to it really quick, and if you use it for long enough, you can actually make some really cool tracks. Now, of course, I don't want to go ahead and show off my tracks too much this stream, because obviously, it's like, I've done it plenty of times in previous streams, and, you know, like with most things, you don't want to do that too much, because then, you know, at the end of the day, people can go back and see for themselves what you've done in previous streams, because obviously this is YouTube we're talking about. This isn't Twitch, where you can only hold up to a few videos at a time. In YouTube's case, you can have as many videos as you desire in your channel. Either way, go ahead and add a little bit of a turn here, and we can make this track nice and long, because obviously the user kind of needs to be able to play on something and not just look at a track that's just all nice and pretty. You know, so nice and pretty. But yeah. There we go, we've got another part of the track done. So now obviously back when I used to be a really active distance player, like I never missed a single Speedy Saturday. For those of you who are wondering, Speedy Saturday is a multiplayer event where all the players kind of gather around and host the servers and play together. It's a really nice time. But back then I used to do it so much, and I'm not sure if anyone got, you know, remotely annoyed of maybe hearing my voice during these kinds of events. I couldn't blame anyone if they did, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I even get sick of hearing my own voice, but you know, others may not mind it. It could even be the exact same for other people. You might not like the sound of your own voice, but hey, that's just how it is. Either way. Oh, it's getting really hot. Maybe I should take off my jumper. Actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do that. Let me just mute my microphone and let me just do that. And just like that, I'm back. Great. Let's continue making some cool stuff. Actually, what I reckon I'll do, let me go ahead and add a tunnel. Custom made Nitronic tunnel. But I previously stole, but then I decided to make my own iteration because it just looked a bit better. And in most cases, it obviously will be a heck of a lot better. So just like that, you've got the tunnel itself, connect it, and voila. Now of course, you know, compared to in most cases, you know, it's okay. It's not perfect, but some people, if not most people at this point, can obviously do a heck of a lot better when it comes to making these, but I don't know. What I made there should probably do, you know, it's using the updated assets and whatnot, so we should be all good. Plus, a few bugs might have been kicked out along the way, so yeah. Either way, let's go ahead and add another checkpoint, because obviously you're gonna want to make sure that the player doesn't die too far from where they initially, or the player doesn't spawn too far from where they initially died, because obviously that would be quite bad. You know, probably seem a bit unfair, or I guess if you're making a very, very difficult map, or a track in this case, you know, that can be okay. But if you're not doing that, then you're going to want to make sure that checkpoints are actually quite plentiful throughout this thing. I'm going to add some nice little laser gates here so that we can, you know, add some difficulty to this, because like usual, we want to make this part of the track a little bit harder. So let's go ahead and do just that. If you're currently playing this game and you're watching me do it, or make this track in this case, and you're interested in how I'm moving the track or these objects alongside the track, you can hit Shift and I believe it is, yeah, Shift and A to enable this little purple arrow, which essentially allows you to sort of slide the track or slide the object across the track. Slide the track across the object. This is what happens when you're hungry and it's 2 AM, almost 3. You become a little bit disorganized and you begin to kind of like mumble out stuff that you probably wouldn't otherwise if you're completely focused. And there we go, we've got a nice little... This should add a nice variety to the track, and like it should allow players to enjoy just a little bit more. You know, let's only add 2 of these laser gates. I feel like 3 is just a bit doing it just a bit, you know, over just a little bit. Let's add another checkpoint. Obviously, we're gonna want to make sure that the player is nice and, well, it's still in one piece. Because as you saw earlier, we can get sliced in this game. And if all 4 of your wheels are sliced off, your car automatically just fully overheats and explodes. And in some cases, that's kind of cool. And in other cases, it could be frustrating, especially if you're trying to get a good time on this. So, either way, we can add some buildings around here a little bit later. So the player won't actually be able to see this part of the track, and it'll be sort of like cut off, but you know, they'll kind of know that it's there. Also, if you've got the track thing enabled, I don't exactly know what it's called, but basically if you allow objects to be slid across the track like this, you can actually have these objects move along with the track. So if you change the track, the objects that are attached to it will move along with it. So here's another handy little tip for anyone who might just be a beginner in this and wants to know maybe some interesting facts about the editor. So you're welcome if I just helped you. Let's go ahead and actually no, let's make it a little bit straight here, and then let's add a little turn again, so that the players are able to turn around, because we don't want the player to run into the building. My stomach's really kicking right now. I can hear it growling. I know I can get food, but you know, I don't want to make a stream obnoxiously long, like, you know, 3 hours like I usually do. This is supposed to be just like a small little editor stream that I'll do every now and again, because obviously I want to make sure that, you know, the devs still know that I'm working on levels and whatnot, because obviously the devs actually quite actively follow the community, and they do. One of the devs members, you know, famous for his magnificent beard, and the one who made the soundtrack, actually does follow me on Twitter, so, you know, obviously I want to make sure that I can impress certain people by releasing some cool stuff. And sure, whilst the stuff that I release, you know, compared to other people, it's probably not that great, but, you know, it's there, and I guess it can be interesting. Especially because I guess nobody kind of does this kind of thing. Like, Nitronic Rush levels are quite rare nowadays. You'd have the most common levels that you'll probably find would probably be realms at this point. You've got a lot of realms levels, but then there are some really cool levels that have some really amazing visuals, like, for example, Tie-Dye. Actually no, never mind, Tie-Dye is not known for its visuals. You've got NWBO, which is obnoxiously hard. You have to be extremely skilled to be able to play through these kind of levels. You have to know what thruster boosting is and whatnot, and, you know, it's a really interesting thing. And, you know, it's good to see that parts of the community make really different sort of levels. Me, I'm known for making kind of like horror-based levels, just levels that are kind of focus on the distance lore, and even some levels that kind of fuse distance and Nitronic Rush together, because at the end of the day, even adventure mode kind of proves that distance and Nitronic Rush are sort of in the same universe, just probably several centuries apart maybe. Who knows? The current adventure mode doesn't really tell us much, in the sense that it's just a beta. It's just the devs sort of testing the waters for what will eventually be the new, like, the full adventure mode. Of course, we're gonna want to make sure, like, I can't wait for it, but obviously they're gonna want to make sure that it's up to absolute quality, because at the end of the day, keep in mind, this was started off as a Kickstarter project. They want to impress the people that have obviously backed the project. I wasn't around at the time to back it up, so, you know, I'm still relatively new to this community, even though I've been here for over a year now, and, yeah, I'm still loving it. This is just an absolute great community. So, let me just go ahead and, because, yeah, there we go. You see, now we don't see that random gap between the buildings, although we still kind of do, and, that's gonna bug me until I fix it. So we've got a couple of things we can do. We can either make the building taller and just move it down a lot more, and that'll probably fill in most of the gap. Or we could just extend the little motherboard thing we've got going on now. Yeah, you see, now the player can't exactly see it. Of course, we've got infinite cooldown, so we can get up real close and personal, but in most scenarios, like, cooldown won't be, like, infinite cooldown won't exactly be an option here, so the player's free, sort of, like, they can't exactly be that free to the point where they just fly out of the track, and, you know, there has to be sort of like an end to this. Sure, whilst in this case I am kind of blocking out skipping, but keep in mind I like to make my tracks in sections, and I'm still adding skips as I go along, because obviously I know that the community will absolutely love this track if you add skips, because skips make tracks way better, even if the visuals aren't that nice. And what I'm trying to do here is keep it sort of like a nice delicate balance between visuals and gameplay, because at the end of the day you want to make sure that this level plays well and it also looks good. Because if it, you know, if it plays well and, you know, doesn't look too good, it might, you know, the player might lose a little bit of interest, but not as much as they would probably lose interest if the level was just flat out boring. You'd have to make sure that there are a lot of really nice visuals basically scattered throughout the whole thing that keep the user engaged, or in this case the player. The user, player, you know, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. In this case, I'm going for more of a Nitronic feel. Anyone who's played Nitronic Rush will probably absolutely cherish this. Most likely. You know, I'm not exactly always... I've never been too confident with my levels, but I do know that compared to some people's, these levels are quite good. And I want to make sure that I can at least... Oh. I'll save. Yeah, I want to make sure that I can at least sort of keep the user engaged with a bunch of obstacles, but also make them interesting in finding more tracks, and just sort of keep them hooked with visuals and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, you know, if it's an interesting track, people will probably come back to play it. They will play it a lot. For example, if you go ahead, we can also go ahead and open up, let's say, Nitronic Utopia. You know, I believe people still actually play that. Of course, Nitronic Utopia isn't my original creation. This is what you could call an original level from Nitronic Rush itself, just remade in distance. Now, this is something that I made a long time ago, and I've still only recently updated it to make it a little bit less bright. But essentially, this is what is Abandoned Utopia in Nitronic Rush. So, of course, whilst it's not like complete, it doesn't look exactly like it's more of a faithful remake kind of. You know, you've still got most of the shortcuts that you can go through and whatnot, and you can still find most of the secrets you could, because obviously I've played through Nitronic Rush quite a fair bit, and you know, it's good to see that most players will probably find it, you know, quite good to see that I've went ahead and added most of the secrets that they previously found in other games. Of course, the track's a little bit larger, and if you try this game in VR, it looks obnoxiously big. I'll be completely honest, when I first put on a VR headset, the city went from looking big to absolutely huge. You felt like a speck of dust in this thing. Like, you feel like if you got out of the car, you could probably, you know, wander about the city, meet a bunch of interesting people, do a bunch of cool things. But just driving around in this just feels great. But then again, that's just distances in general, that's not the track. And in some cases, if I disabled the custom soundtrack, you could actually hear that I actually added in the Abandoned Utopia soundtrack. Of course, everyone who plays this probably will likely not notice a single thing. But yeah, in most cases, I just did it for faithful reasons. Just to stay faithful to it. Yeah. Faithfulness and faithful, yeah. I should probably stop saying that. It's gonna annoy someone. For those of you who are interested in the Starbound streams, yes, I will be doing a Starbound stream quite soon. I just need to take a small break from it. I have been playing today with a few of the viewers who are currently on in the Discord server, so if you are not yet part of a Discord server, I'd suggest you join, because this is like, it's literally the best way for you to find out when I'm streaming, because I often actually post when I'm about to stream. So anyone who's in there will probably, most likely, always know when I'm about to start streaming. Of course, you know, like I said, my streams aren't exactly the best thing you'll ever find. I've never said that my content will be the best thing. Also, I think I just moved the thing off. Oh no, never mind, it's all good. Sorry, okay, there we go. But yeah, my streams may not be quality, but you know, they are what they are, and I guess that's what people like about them. I'm thinking of monetizing these streams, but I'm not too sure yet, because obviously, you know, I don't exactly have that much of a view count for me to be able to earn pretty much anything. For those of you who may look down upon it, you know, at the end of the day, it's YouTube. You're probably going to want to make money off it, but the reason I want to monetize my videos and sort of get some kind of money from it is because I actually want to start doing more giveaways, and obviously if I can get some kind of income, because I'm currently searching for a job, but you know, in the area that I live in, you know, that's a bit more easier said than done, obviously. You know, I don't want to exactly go too far from home to the point where I'm working in a completely different town, because in this town, most of the jobs that I probably want to work in, or in this case I could work in, are mostly taken. So I'm probably going to want to wait until, you know, we have some spaces that free up and what have you, and yeah. Either way, this isn't about like jobs or money or anything, but I figured for anyone that will probably be a little bit frustrated seeing these ads, just know that I don't do it just because, you know, I want money and whatnot, but because I actually do want to give away some more games. Of heck, I want to give away stuff like Distance and Starbound, because people like these games. Obviously Distance, I kind of want to spread the word about it a little bit more, because at the end of the day, it's a great game. It deserves quite a lot of attention. Some people like it, some people will hate it, but hey, the most important thing is that you give it a try, because like at the end of the day, I love this game to bits. I didn't even think I would be like, when I first got this game, I figured, yeah, it's, you know, it's probably going to be one of those games that I'm going to play for maybe just a couple of days, maybe a week or so, and then I'll probably forget about it forever. But then, it turns out, no. I'm hooked to this thing for a year. It's got such a great level edge. The story mode, the previous game, it all sort of blends in together. Like, I can't exactly describe a formula, but it's just so good. And that's why I want other people to try it, to give it a go. Because you never know, you might actually love it. And, you know, because of course, whilst you may love 2D games, you may like an FPS game, you might despise racing games. And you know what? I don't play that much racing games either. I rarely touch just, you know, your stereotypical racing, but when I found Distance, something about it just stood out to me. And I think that's what kind of makes Distance special to, you know, compared to other racing titles, you know. It's got that arcade-ish feel to it, and it sort of doesn't always want you to race against opponents. It encourages the player to leave the track, whereas a stereotypical racer would probably just put an invisible wall to try and prevent that. And, you know, that's what I like about these games. Sure, other people might find it a bit stupid, but me, I love it. Either way, I'll probably just stop blubbering on about how much I love this game, because if you are interested, check the link in the description and you'll be able to find the Steam link. Also, if you're in the Discord server, you can actually find it in the rules section, which you've most likely been invited to anyway. Yeah. Either way. Oh. It looks like... Huh, okay. Let's just move this finger a little bit closer to the track, and just like that, kabam. Bada boom, bada beam, we've got a nice little segment of a track done. And that's good. That is splendid. Absolutely splendid. slowly coming up to 3 AM, so I should probably start concluding the stream at some point, yeah. Either way, let's go ahead and just show you what we've done so far. Now sure, whilst I'm not gonna show off the entire track, the stuff that's changed will be showing off right now. So here's the blue stage again. Now this part will definitely need some more reworks because, you know, unlike the previous one, yeah sure, it's a lot better, but there's a lot more to it that I would like to change. I'd also like to add some more hover cars, just fly. It just sort of gives the level a little bit more life to it, you know. It makes you feel like you're in a living, breathing city with people actually living here, rather than just some static place with some buildings and whatnot that's probably been abandoned for a long time. And I mean, sure, whilst that could be an interesting idea for a track, you know, you don't get much of these tracks, but make you actually feel like you're part of some kind of city. So, here we go, we're approaching the second part of the blue stage, and I always take the right because the left currently doesn't have a teleport that leads to anywhere. So I'm probably going to want to do that during the next stream, or maybe just in my own time. There we go, we just got cut by a other guy, and it's probably best that I reset because I'm going to have a really hard time just timing at all. So either way, I'd say a 1 hour stream is pretty good for, you know, for what this is. We're approaching a nice little fan section, and of course I will be changing this up a little. Let's go ahead and just check out this other part of the track. Oh, and kind of bounce off it, and as you can see, here's the second part, or what I like to call the hidden track. Go ahead and take that nice little trick we did there. Go ahead and fly over to here, check out these little nice Nitronic crates that I've placed, just for decorational purpose. They don't really do anything. If you drove into them, they're more or less just static objects. They won't break, nothing will happen. I could do something in the future to make them a little bit more interesting, but for now, I'll probably not use them for anything, aside from decorational purposes only. So let's go ahead and continue flying through the track, and let's go, I guess let's first go through this part of the track, because, you know, it's quite short and simple. There we go, got a few souls, and just like that, this is why we can go to, I guess, either flip onto another track, or miss it completely, or we could just put a teleporter there. Let's go ahead and die, I guess, and let's go over to the other part of the track. Just like here, we can hop over to this road. Got nice animated buildings. Of course, these aren't using the animated components, they're just using Nitronic fans, which are animated by default. So there we go, got a nice little tunnel, which would be visually pleasing to most people. And we've got a nice little teleport to help allow the player just to progress to another section of the level. Maybe even find some secrets. Now what I reckon I'll do is I'll try and place some hidden teleporters like this little section right here. This is a brilliant place for a player to fly over to, in, you know, just to think that, you know, maybe there is some kind of secret here, because, you know, I am known for embedding some kind of secret into my level. For example, if we go over to one of my older levels that I released like 2 years ago, I believe it's just called Green Level Thing, which I was supposed to originally make a video for it, but I never did. If we went over to this thing, and oh, I completely forgot the layout of this level. Do this, we can actually, obviously, this is directly pointing out the secret, but this was just, I decided to not finishes, but well, properly. But you can even see it as my old username. Like before, not even before, but basically this is supposed to be like a little birthday secret, because this level I believe was released on my either 16th or 17th birthday. So just like that, you've got, of course, when I'm talking about subscribers, I'm not talking about YouTube subscribers, because back then I didn't really do much with my channel. You wouldn't really see much from it. Either way, long story short, we've done a fair bit with this level. And whilst of course I'm not expecting us to necessarily... I wasn't necessarily expecting anything big to come from the stream. I am going to do these streams a little bit more often, just to sort of document what I've been doing over the course of, you know, the development of this level. Of course, keep in mind, for anyone that's obviously new to this game, if you think I'm a developer, then you might want to reconsider your that thought, because I'm in fact not a developer. However, there have been instances where the devs actually hired very skilled level creators, such as Snowstate, Crispy, Ashmel, and I believe, yeah, Snowstate, Crispy. Crispy, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. Snowstate, Crispy, and Ashmel were previously just 3 ordinary players, but then due to their skills in the editor, they've been hired. Obviously me, I'm likely not going to be hired, because first of all, I'm quite young, inexperienced, and just in general, I haven't touched a level editor in a long time, so you know what. But then again, I mainly do this all for fun anyway, because I enjoy watching people play through these. And, you know, to have somebody like what I made means a heck of a lot to me. Kind of like most of my subs with this channel. The fact that they even gained any kind of interest in this channel is just a miracle to me. I never thought that I could make something that interests another person. Either way, long story short, I guess I should probably conclude the stream and start getting ready for bed, probably go eat a little bit and whatnot, because like usual, I'm starving. Anyway, thanks for watching. I understand we didn't exactly get any viewers this stream, but thank you for watching, even if you did watch the past broadcast and whatnot. And if you just happen to randomly stumble upon my channel, you know, maybe consider subscribing if you like content like us. Or maybe if you're interested in Starbound, Terraria, or Fallout. I understand I haven't done much Fallout, Doom, or Terraria videos, or even GTA 5 in general, but I will try to get around to those, because Starbound is the thing that I'm doing the most currently, because I can host a multiplayer server for it and play with viewers, which I don't know about you, but you know, that's what I find seems to be interesting for the viewer and for me in general, because, you know, if we can both like the same thing, then it kind of, you know, lets the viewer sort of take part in the stream, get some screen time maybe, you know, who knows. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.